Hello.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing?
I've had my balls out twice. Oh, to be filmed, and you walked in twice. You are persisting with those biscuits, and they were.
No. There you go. I'm just putting it in the video.
They were in a cupboard.
Anyway, we're on it.
And you brought them out. Okay. Have a great one. Yes, we're on.
Okay. After 4.
4!
Here I am in the dressing room of the famous, well to me...
Oh, look who walks in. Hello, Nick.
Hello. Nick,
This is quite apt. Well, we're doing an interview and you just walked in on the camera, so...
It's Nick.
Going on?
That's like me asking for a photo, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Our freeze frame.
Have a great one.
There you
A
go.
really great audience.
Ah,
That's such a
lovely.
buzz.
Well, you know.
So I'll see you afterwards.
Yours. What's that?
Oh, you smell lovely. You smell lovely.
Yeah, it's nice.
Lovely.
He has oils. That's quite good time. That's the man himself. Yeah, I've been touring with Nick. How are you, Martin?
Do we start again?
Yeah.
After 4?
4!
Here I am in the... Here I am
In the toilets.
Here I am again. Here I am in the dressing room of a good friend of mine called Thomas Walsh. That's how I know him anyway.
Yeah.
People watching this will know you as Pugwash,
Yeah, sadly.
as one person.
That's
You
true.
Band.
Yes.
And also half of Duckworth Lewis Method.
Yes.
Yeah.
One, three quarters of Duckworth Lewis Method.
3/4 of it.
Neil's only a quarter.
Okay. Let's just quickly go back to the beginning then.
Okay.
So where was young Thomas Walsh born and brought up?
Born in a working class suburb of Dublin called Drimnagh.
Mm.
Not pronounced Drimnagh because it's Drimnagh. Nick,
Yeah.
that's a towel if you want. I didn't use it.
You what?
That towel was given to me, but I didn't use
No,
it.
I just wanted to wipe my glasses.
Okay.
Not wipe my arses.
There's a wipe your arses.
They're going on now, aren't they?
Yes.
They're going, we'll start again now.
Start again.
That fan's blowing my hair about, but I'm
So-
lucky to have some.
Well, you can move it a bit, so stop blowing your hair. Silly. Yeah, fuck it. It's just to get a
Ready
bit.
for 10 minutes.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. After 4.
4!
Well, here I am. Here I am with a good friend of mine, Thomas Walsh. People watching this will know you as Thomas, but also as Pugwash.
As Pugwash, as one half of that and 2 halves of this.
Yeah.
3/4 of that.
Duckworth Lewis
2
Method.
parts cement and
Yeah.
1/2.
Yeah. So
We can't keep doing this.
okay.
These would be great little, all done as quick edits. All the false starts.
We'll get there in the end.
Yeah,
Okay,
fuck
let's
it.
go for it and we'll keep going.
Yeah, let's go for it. It's natural.
After 4. Hang on.
we're going to do another one. Okay.
I think the thing's drooped down a bit.
Yeah, well, I think if I know these well enough, you can get back that bit. You can back a little bit there, like that. And if you stick, see, if you get like anything, like a little top of a bottle or something, it'll just stay there. It'll hold it, it won't droop.
I think
There, look, the pen. It just won't droop. It won't affect it. He's going to come back out at some stage, by the way.
Well, we'll keep going.
Okay.
Okay. After 4.
Do it once more, right?
Okay. After 4.
4!
Well, hello, it's Martin here. And I've been very privileged over the years to interview a lot of my favourite musicians. And unfortunately, I haven't got any more favourite musicians to interview, so we're going to just have to come down a level.
Yes.
And I'm honoured now to be in the
And it's Milton Keynes you come down to.
It's an honour, mate, to be in the dressing room of a good mate of mine, Thomas Walsh. Other people will know you as Pugwash.
Yeah.
And 3/4 of Duckworth Lewis.
3/4 of Duckworth Lewis Method.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm sure there are plenty more.
With
strings
Neil
to
Hannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've been very privileged to work with and meet a lot of my idols, which
Yeah.
we'll get around to, I'm sure. But
I was going to get to that bit later on.
yeah, that's fine. Yes,
I was
absolutely.
going to go back to the early,
Okay.
very early days.
Very early.
When you were born. Where
Well,
were you born?
I was born in my house in a place called Drimnagh, pronounced Drimnagh, but it's Drimnagh. It's a working class suburb of South Dublin. Born in the house, didn't make it to the hospital because too lazy, even then. A lot of, there was a lot of births at home back in the day. And there was a midwife shortage, I remember. So, excuse me, just had some water after coming off stage. It was quite natural. And I remember my mum said to me, there's a midwife shortage or something. And I put it in a song actually I did a few years back, which was a song called August Born. And I said, August born, in the middle of a midwife crisis. That's not a bad little play on words.
No.
I always liked that one. But I was born 69, August the 9th, 69. They were landing on the moon, Woodstock was starting. It was a very cool time. Well, I don't remember a lot of the first few years, but when I get into the early 70s, I remember Top of the Pops, my dad's music, his Frank Sinatra's, but his Carpenters and his Gilbert O'Sullivan stuff, and as well as his Bobby Darin and all that. So yeah, early years, just South Dublin, working class.
And were you a big baby?
I was a very big baby, about 13 pounds or something, so huge, ridiculously. And I was being fed sugared water just after I was born. I went to the very first kids Weight Watchers in Ireland in the 70s. And it was just things like lifting bags with your feet and weird stuff. But I remember, and it's going to be like a bit of serenading music. But it's all part of the coolness. And so yeah, I did everything like that.
I recognise that.
You know this one.
You know?
And I don't think it's too loud, is it?
Should we get a bit nearer?
I talk quite loud, of course I can move. I'll tell you what's even better. Bring the fucking table to us. Because it's easy to email, but so do you need me to do anything again?
Probably.
Basically, I was just getting into the 70s.
Oh yes.
Music was starting to play a big part because Top of Pops, huge. In Ireland you'd have BBC, BBC Two, ITV, and then you wouldn't have
2-1 to Belgium, full time.
2-1 to Belgium. This is the most hip interview you'll ever do, right?
Yeah, that'll be a little piece of history in 20 years' time.
Belgium beat Brazil.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
They're the ones to look out for, I think, aren't they? Now. So it could be England's foil, the old Belgians. But
So a musical family?
musical, not really. I mean, there was elements of music, elements of art. My family brother was still is a great artist. My two brothers. Two of my brothers. My eldest brother was just a crafter, shoemaker, worker, and still is a family and stuff. So there was art in the family. There was art from my mother's side, but music not really. Even though my dad had some musical friends who used to come around the house. There was a lot of singing at Christmas. Very much like very English and Irish, very similar Christmases with all the songs, and all the people celebrating and getting pissed. So there was always music, and music was very important, but it never permeated into the playing of stuff in our house until the Beatles, I think, for me and my brother, because they're so good. Well, Beatles and ELO, of course, but the music is so good. You want to know how they do it. You want to try and, well, if you have it in you, if I was just going to be a bus driver or something, which I wanted to be a bus driver all my life, and so I wouldn't have pursued it. But obviously there was something inside me telling me to pursue music. You don't know what it is at that age, but I just wanted to know about sounds and so that's the kind of thing. So the 70s I just got so into ELO. Like obviously before the Beatles. The Beatles were there like the air. But my brother was bringing home ELO albums and I was just going, please just let me play it. And the good thing, my brother didn't give a shit about how he treated his records, which I hated, of course. But the great thing was, he could let me play them whenever I wanted, but I'd always lift them out and put them on the thing and clean them. He'd just throw them on the floor and put jam sandwiches all over them. So I'd have to wash them and stuff. But I just ELO was just, I honestly, there's a couple of things I remember vividly. Face the Music on cassette, being brought out to go fishing with my brother in Dunleary Harbour, where the Biltown Rats are from, Bob Geldof is from. And the battery started running out after half an hour, but we got one play of Face the Music.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that, because it just sounded like something from another planet. Then a New World record sounding like something from a further planet and having an effect on me. But when I got Mr. Blue Sky, I bought it myself on 7-inch single. My first record was the ELO EP with Can't Get Out of My Head, which I still have, and I bought it for 10p. But when I got Mr. Blue Sky, I literally sat over the record player on the floor and I played it continuously, about 15 or 20 times. I couldn't stop playing.
Well, it was saying at the end, it was saying, please turn me over, not please put me back to the
start. I wasn't listening to it, as in, I wasn't listening to what it was saying to me. I was listening to Jeff vocoding, and of course, One Summer Dream is the B-side, which is just, you know, phenomenal song. But I just remember Mr. Blue Sky set, because the reason why it's such an iconic song now, imagine hearing it in 77 when it came out, because it sounded fucking great. And so I just absolutely fell in love with them. That's why my first album, by the way, was The Light Shines On, volume 1, isn't it, with the smoke, the Supersonic cover, with the smoky cover.
Yeah.
And of course, Battle of Marston Moor is on that, and a few others. And I used to play it religiously as a 9, 10-year-old. My dad would come in and go, because I have to be honest here and use the language, what the fuck is that playing? I'd say, it's Roy Wood. And he'd go, it's just fucking noise. I go, but next time I hear Roy going, my Lord King, you know, I'll be going, it's always a tough one, but you know, he loved his good ELO, couldn't get into the early stuff. But I was obsessed with it, Queen of the Hours, look at me now. Hearing that as a 10-year-old, amazing. I will sidetrack Barnes, you have to stop me. But I'm doing it chronologically, this is late 70s now.
Just quickly back to ELO, I do wonder what people that got into ELO when the New World record Out of the Blue said, oh, we must get all the old ones. I do wonder what they thought when they were into Mr. Blue Sky and all that. So they went on the first album and on comes the Battle of Marston. What did they think? I don't know what you think.
Well, I just absorbed everything because I loved, it's like a sound. It was like, you didn't really care what they were saying. As in, if you listen to Mr. Blue Sky, you listen to Battle of Marston Moor. It's worlds apart, obviously, but there's a thread there. There's something connecting. It's because it's almost the same people are involved almost. But so I just copped that, and I didn't care, and I just wanted everything. And I remember my brother started to get an album a week, because we did it with the Beatles when Lennon was shot. We started getting Beatles albums a week because we knew all the songs, but never quite knew it was them kind of thing. Because they were, but with ELO, I remember buying All the Tour Day. And my brother now is freaked out because John, you know John, I think. But I have a Republic of Ireland UA copy, which is the one I bought in 1980. It was during the Wimbledon final, before McEnroe final. When it ended, I cycled to my local record shop, wasn't far, and I bought All the Tour Day, that UA one. And All the Tour Day was a huge record, I remember. Because if you think about it, it's a complete one-off ELO record, isn't it? It's not like anything else I ever did. It's not like anything before. Because there's parts of ELO 2 that are quite like ELO 1 in a way. Kind of record at the same time. A bit shinier production engineering. But All the Tour Day is a complete stodgy, delayed Lee, pop record. And then it's Eldorado, and it's all changed. They never did that like on Sunday again. I think that's why it's a big record for a lot of American bands. But I love that record so much, obviously. And the cover was iconic. I still love the Warner Brothers cover, but I think the Richard Avedon cover is the one for me.
I think we could sit here and talk ELO for hours.
Well, yes, we should, should we?
And I would love to. I wouldn't do that. But I'm just aware of your time. I think you're going to go and sing with the
I don't mind him.
So we're talking about the mid-70s now.
Yes.
You got a guitar by then?
No, not at all.
No.
Drums.
Oh, you were a drummer? I didn't know
Huge,
that.
yes, huge drummer, as in big drummer. No, I used to just play pots and pans out in the shed. But again, I was like, well, I can do that, and I loved it. I love the drums, I still do. So late 70s, my dad got me it was a kit of drums that was a different make. Every drum part was a different make. It was almost like a bastard kit or something, like you call it. Like it was the run to the litter kit. But it was the greatest thing I'd ever been given. My uncle Billy, God bless him, I remember brought it over to the house. I came home from school, it was sitting in the front room. And it must have taken a lot for my dad and my mum to get me a drum kit when I was 10 years old, because I was going to start making noise.
It's not the ideal thing to have in the house, is it?
No, and it wasn't like today when you get those little pads and you can play at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
No, this was a big thing. So I loved it. So I had it for years. I'm still shocked it went somewhere. Because you ever have things from your childhood where you kind of go, I didn't throw that out. Where the hell is it? Things just go, don't they?
Do you don't think it happened deliberately?
Well, then you start thinking, my ma, she knew I was out that day, out went the drum kit into the skip. But I loved it, so that was my first instrument.
Yeah. So you got the shed in the bottom of the garden?
Before that, my brother went for some guitar lessons, excuse me, in the early 80s. And he could come home every night from a little half-hour class where he'd learn chords. So he'd come home and show me some chords he'd learned, and I just started picking the chords up from him. So he was playing from before I was, but I started picking up these chords, and then they talk about misspent youths and stuff. Well, of course it is, because I used to sit upstairs for 5-6 hours just playing 3 chords. But I loved it. I just did my own for hours. And that's what led up to the mid-80s. But see, the mid-80s was all ELO, Kinch, Bee Gees, Beatles, all these bands that I loved. And I didn't think there was anything new out there for me. But that's when I found XTC, 86 or so. And just because I went to see ELO in Wembley in 86 at the Rod Stewart gig. And it was amazing because ELO finished. Balance of Power, obviously. And then it's the weirdest thing, I was like, what can I do? They're gone. And all of a sudden, within 6 months, I found XTC. They changed my life as well, and played an absolutely huge part. So that's when I started to, because Andy Parker had a shed. I started reading about him and stuff, so then towards the later 80s, 87, 88, I got a little shed at the back there, and my dad put a plug in it. And we started to get instruments on hire purchase, a little lamp, which I still have actually. One guitar, and then I used to have little tape recorders. And I'd buy classical, because I wanted everything to sound like Mr. Radio. So I'd buy classical tapes for 10p, charity shop. I put them into this tape deck and played them backwards. I'd record them into my 4-track and reverse them.
Yeah.
So I'd be playing a song and all of a sudden, and I'd go, wow, it sounds like Mr. Radio. Some of it was really shit. Some of it was actually quite good.
Did you keep any of it?
Yeah, I have them all, yeah. They're the very early, I released some shed demos, 5 volumes of shed demos. And I delved back quite far. But some very early stuff, it's just silly really, but if I'm on the streets and I need a few bob, they'll come out. Right? People want to buy them, I'll put them out there, I've got no shame. But so yeah, and then it was just music. Because I started playing right. And when I started writing, I got very excited because as much as I love drums, I could suddenly be Jeff Lynne or John Lennon or Ray Davies or Barry Gibb or all these people I loved. But then I found people like Michael Penn, Jellyfish, and all these American writers that were so brilliant, who I still love to this day. Got to know and play with. These people were huge, because you know, you're always learning, you know? Still finding new bands to this day, which is always quite exciting. But when I was in the hospital recently, I went back to Yellow. I was there for 6 weeks. I just played out of the blue, almost non-stop, and it's such a brilliant record in so many ways, because it is a brilliant record. It's one of the greatest records ever made. And I love the fact that I went back to the musicals. It meant a lot.
So there must have come a time when you thought, well, I'm going to try and sell more music, make some money out of it.
Well, what happened was I was playing some gigs with friends of mine called Lear, an Irish band, and they were on a label called Velo Records. And I knew the owner quite well. He's a lovely man, Michael and Neil O'Shea, great people, really great people. And they came to see me support them in Whelan's around 1995, 96, something like that. Whelan's is a famous venue in Dublin. And Michael just met me afterwards and said, we'd love to do an album with you. And I went, oh yeah, and he goes, we get a few bob somewhere, you know, and he probably got a few grand, maybe 2 grand. And I raised a few bob, and a good friend of mine, Richie Howes, who if he ever sees this, I still owe Richie 500 quid. You know, I've seen him a lot since then. He lives in Scotland. He had some money at the time, I remember, and I was so desperate. I asked Richie. I could never pay him back then. We were skint. But we made this debut album and just got it out, album T. Made it with ADATs, which is it's like an oversized videotape. And ADAT machines are famous for going wrong and breaking down. So it was just hard work. It was such a great experience. I loved it. And that album's still coming out, you know, it's out on 3 different colour vinyls, and it's been out on reissue CDs, blah blah blah. And it's the 20th anniversary next year, so I'll be doing a big year next year for the back catalogue. Yeah.
So do you find it easier now to sell all your music? Well, 20 years ago, the internet wasn't as big.
It wasn't at all. It wasn't kicking in at all. It was there, but it was like you go to the local supermarket place and you put 2 quid in to go online. I did that for a lot. Well, I didn't have a computer, obviously, because they were expensive. Very expensive, $1,000 or 1,200 quid for a computer. And the way I got my first computer was by label, by Velo friends. They got it as part of a kind of an incentive, you know, like a government incentive where it was used for me as an act on the label. So they could get a lot of money off it, and I went and picked out a computer. And that was my first big job. Which again I still have, because it's just, you feel bad trying out your first computer, you know, the big screen and the video. There's no Jimmy Savile stuff going on. It's all clean as a whistle, it's all the yellow stuff, it's all music. But you know, it's just, but that was a huge plus for me then when I got online. But the album was already out, so it was just about grafting it and playing it live, you know, the way they used to do it in the old days. So, but then once you get your first record out, it's a huge thing. It almost just starts to motor. You don't want to wait around. You want to make a better one. So you force yourself to make better records and get them out.
Yeah. It must be great then to make a living out of something you enjoy doing.
I pinch myself every day still. I mean, hanging out with Andy Parkins last night and Nick Heyward. You know, they were all big, huge. Andy being a huge influence on me, and Nick being a big star back in the day when I was young. You know, when I was 12 or 13, he was on Top of the Pops every week with his jumper around his neck and stuff. And you're hanging out and writing with these people and playing with them and laughing. And
I was going to say, you spoke earlier about, you know, your favourite bands, ELO, XTC, and here you are going to their houses, you know, and socialising with them.
Yeah, well, Jeff is the.
Yeah, well, there's Jeff Lynne, you know Jeff Lynne well, and the guys from XTC, and even Brian Wilson's a bit of a fan as well.
Brian Wilson, which I'm glad I got to see Brian. I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but I'm glad I got to see Brian. And he was probably a little bit more compass mentis. And it's not that Brian isn't. Brian is completely aware and totally with it, but I did engage in a bit of a conversation with Brian. I know some people have met recently to really engage. But that's a proud moment. But he did ask to meet me, you know, which that's what happened. I mean, I can't make it up. But I didn't just turn over to Brian Mills and go, he wants to meet me, you know, or I would have got thrown out of my arse. I got all the invites, I got all the passes, and I went and met Brian. And he said he loved Nice to Be Nice. But the Jeff Lynne thing was just too much, you know. I was in the fan club and all, you know. It's just, I used to dream about flying in the spaceship with Jeff when I was a kid. You know, we all did it, I certainly did it. I've no problem saying that. And he was on my wall. Every part of my wall, Jeff was on my wall. He was my idol. And when you get a letter from somebody like that saying how much they love your music and they love what you do, that gives you a feeling like nothing else can. Then, when you get to America eventually like I did, and he invites you to the house, and you actually physically meet him, and have a cup of tea with him, and you have a laugh with him, I can't put the words now. Can't. You've met him many times, you've had some good nights with him. You can't put it into words, can you?
I haven't got intimate with these people like that.
Well, we haven't kissed yet.
No, you haven't, no. Is it difficult to switch off, to get out of, because you have to get out of fan mode, really, don't you, really?
Oh, it's difficult. I'll tell you something like that. I haven't really told a lot of people. It's just a brilliant thing. I think the last time I went to see Jeff in LA, in the house, I arrived, and I was with Katya that time. She's been there a couple of times with me. My other lovely, beautiful woman. Very lucky man. And but the thing was, what's his name again? Steve J, his engineer guy. So they were there, we were just having a chat. He says, we're working on the set. This is before the last tour. And he says, we're putting in some new songs. I'm putting in about 4 or 5 new songs. But he says, are these new songs, as in from Alone the Universe, or the old new? And he goes, oh no, they're, you know, the old songs. And I went, right, indulge me. Can I guess songs? And he goes, oh, go ahead. And this is the one big fan thing I did, but he had a brilliant laugh. He loved it. I started at ELO 1. I started at No Answer. You know what I mean? I went straight for the first track, because I could name the track list and obviously a baby album. I started at 105 and I went through them all, album by album. And Jeff would stop and he'd go, no. And I'd be saying things like, you know, Nelly takes her belt, no. And he'd just be laughing. And then I got to ELO 2, I'd say, Kiyama, From the Soul to the World, no. Blue Brother's Dead, he'd go, oh, that's a good one. I like that one, that's a good one. Did I write that one? He'd say things like that. I'd say, yes, Jeff, you definitely wrote that one. He'd say, Illusions in G major. Oh, I always liked that one. And it was so brilliant, because if someone did an interview like that, how much would we love it? If you just roll up all the songs and he kept stopping and going, oh yeah, I remember that one. And he'd have a few anecdotes about them. And I remember I started doing B-sides. And I said, When Time Stood Still. And he goes, well, he says, I've forgotten that song. I said, Jeff, well, Hold On Tight came out. You know, there was an element of B-sides obviously being lesser tracks. You know, little throwaway jobs, you know. I says, but when I flipped that over as a kid, it's one of our greatest songs. How did it never make time and all? He's just going, oh, I forgot about that. I started singing a bit of it, and he said, oh, yeah. It was just, that's the biggest fandom moment I've ever done with Jeff.
Yeah, he must have enjoyed that chat.
He loved it.
Yeah.
I went right up, I went up to Zoom, and I stopped at Alone the Universe just because I got the songs. But I had such a buzz there that if you'd have thrown me out that day and said, don't come back, I probably would have been just, well, I had a good run. Because I did that with him. Well, he loved it, he really did. And he's so, the thing about Jeff is he's so modest, he's so beautifully real. You know, he's so nice, isn't he? You've met him, he's so
Well,
nice.
it's nice to be nice.
It's nice to be nice.
And one of his early bands were the Idle Race, and you got to know all the members and their...
That was a big day. That was a big day to meet Dave and Roger and Greg. And that was when I met them all. I met Jeff that day as well at the Hollywood, the Birmingham Walk of Fame. And that's such an important band for me. And they're all still around. And I mean that as in, you know, a lot of people can move to Australia. That guy's living in Norway for the last 30 years, all that kind of shit. And they were all there, and I was like, fuck it. So I just said to them, Can you stand in the formation from the second cover? And
Yeah.
I got it mixed up because I was getting all excited, but I took some great photos of.
That was a bit of a fan thing to do, though.
That was a very fan thing to do. Oh yeah, but they're good fan things. They're acceptable fan things.
Yeah.
If I go over and say, "Can I have a lock of your hair?" Or,
Yeah.
that's not the fan thing you want to do.
No.
Even though I would take a lock of his hair. He's got lovely hair.
And they obviously respect you and your talent. You've got a lot of talent. Does it
Thanks, man.
does it frustrate you? You know, you do all this work. Does it frustrate you when somebody can appear on a TV talent show and instantly hit the big time? What do you think about that?
My opinion is very simple, but it is shit. But it's not shit where it annoys me and it's shit. It's just shit in general. It's a bad thing in general. It's an untalented thing in general. It's TV, it's brilliant TV, it's classic watchable TV. That's what it is. But I know people are sick of hearing this as well, but it isn't a music thing. Music is not that. It's never been that. Music is about, music is about talent. As in being able to create music that someone could sing in 30 years or hopefully, or remember or buy it. And it's a huge thing to do. I'm not saying it's a very hard thing. I'm not suffering. Excuse me. I'm just saying that that's what I actually do. I love doing it. I try and do it as best as I can, and then you see people try to associate themselves with that, and they're just basically shit at it. So it annoys me that the thing of music is treated so badly. It's not about me not getting a fair break at night. I know why. I don't sell millions, I know why. I know the answers, I just don't care anymore. Because I'll do what I want to do anyway. Musically. So I've never really listened to, I've done one album with a major, which was great fun, but they only got behind it to the point where they promoted it, which was what we needed. And it was our biggest selling album and it charted now. Got nominated for a few awards and stuff. The Olympus Sound. That was with EMI, and I was very proud to do it.
Fantastic. Did you attend a special award ceremony and all that?
Yeah, we were nominated for Irish Album of the Year. The Urban Novello Award nomination was for Duckworth Lewis, which was the biggest day of my life musically. It's very special to get nominated. 1,800 albums released in the calendar year in England and Ireland, and whittles down to 200. 150, 100, 75, 50, 30, 20, 15, 10, 7, 5 and 3. We were the top 3, were nominated.
Well, you must be very proud of that.
Very, very proud of it. I have my certificate on the wall, it's just a nomination certificate. We ran Powder and Atini close, but he was very popular at the time. He was lovely in his acceptance speech. He said we should have won it, which was a nice thing to hear, but I've got a great, if you want to be bored again, but I've got a great Jeff story about Urban Novellos. Because I walked into Jeff's and I saw he had 3 Urban Novellos on it's kind of a porch area of his kitchen. Little alcove, and he's got 3 Urban Novellos, and I recognised him because I stared at them that day, all day until their category came up. And I says, oh, there's your Urban Novellos, and he goes, have you not got one of them? Like as if you can just buy them in the shop, like a pint of fucking milk. I went, no, I don't have one of them, Jim. I nearly did. And he goes, have a look at them, And I went over, they're really heavy on the bottom. And I seen Xanadu Best Song, 1980, that was one. Out of the Blue, album of the year, 78, I think it was. And his Lifetime Achievement won 2005 or something. Or earlier, and I was like, very cool. He goes, I always laugh at Urban Novellos, he says. I went down to George's one day in Fir Park, and Olivia said he's out in the garden, doing the weeds and all. He says you just walk down and you find him, and he said I walked down and I looked and I saw all these awards, Urban Novellos, just dotted around the garden, and I went, George, what's going on here? And he goes, Jeff, I said these things. He said, oh yeah, they're great for sticking in the ground and putting seeds in, because they're really heavy on the bottom. So Jeff was standing there, there's about 12 Urban Novellos stuck in the ground, he's putting seeds in. Because he won, probably would have got 5 or 6 a year with the Beatles. Just doesn't want. And I just thought that was brilliantly George, out in the garden with the awards, because they're good for planting seeds. That's brilliant.
At the time of recording this, it's July 2018.
Yes.
You're touring support for Nick Heyward, who we can hear in the background. So we hope that our people.
Yeah, I think I
hear us.
speak loud enough to get us across.
Yeah, you've got a big voice.
I do, and if anyone just get the headphones on, have a listen if it's a bit too low.
So earlier this year, you released a new album.
Late last year.
Late last year.
You're right. It was we had to get it out last year because of the Kickstarter campaign. So, but it was a late one. It was mid-November maybe. So yeah, it's still new.
Plans for another album, or was that too soon yet?
Well, next year is a big year because it's the 20th anniversary year. So I'm going to do a compilation and hopefully some new tracks with some people. I have a few ideas. Hopefully going to get Jollity and 11 Modern Antiquities albums out on vinyl for the first time ever, which a lot of people are wanting. And hopefully maybe even reissue CDs, but the vinyl idea is a lot more exciting for me.
Yeah, vinyl's coming back.
Well, people keep saying that, but it's always been here. But I know what you mean. It's huge again. It's definitely huge again.
What I find strange, I was in a supermarket the other day. There were, I think it was 5 ELO CDs in a box for £8.
It's a cool box.
And the vinyl, about the blue, the vinyl was £20. It was ridiculous.
It's quite cheap. It's quite cheap compared to Ireland for a double album. Yeah, like Sainsbury's is doing the vinyl again. The colour vinyls of Ogden's Duck on Flake by Small Faces and SF Sorrow by Pretty Things and Odyssey and Oracle, but the Zombies not all coming out in colour vinyl. So I walked into Sainsbury's in London about a month ago looking for the Odyssey and Oracle colour. Oh no, maybe the 4 Small Faces album, which I haven't got yet. The Sainsbury's release, and the guy was like, "Oh, that's already the big Sainsbury's." Well, it's amazing you can walk into Sainsbury's, isn't it? In this day and age and buy a vinyl. It's really cool. So yeah, I think it's great. A lot of my stuff will be back out on vinyl. Olympus Sound is out in August on orange vinyl, which means it'll be available to buy in August. We'll have all our Kickstarter people sorted by then because they paid already for it through Kickstarter. So we have some t-shirts as well with those releases. But it's going to be available on orange vinyl from August, so that's another thing that's coming out at the end of the year, which is nice. A few gigs in Spain. I also just did the sleeve downs for 3 archive releases of the Honeybus. And they're beautiful things. They're like the real stuff that the fans have been waiting for this band. Because the first ever reissue of their only album, Story, released in 1970 on Durham or D-Ram, whichever word. Is it D-Ram or Durham?
I always say Durham.
I always say Durham. We stick with that. And Recital was an album they did for Warner Brothers in 1972, 73. That Warner Brothers shelved. Now, in fairness, if you think of like Clifford T. Ward and artists like that at the time, Brian Prothero and stuff like that, who were having hits, it's better than them, and they were having hits. It's quite Gilbert as well. But Warner's just said, no, I'm not touching it. So it only survives as a test pressing. And they got a hold of Pete Dello's test pressing, who was the guy who wrote Cat Let Maggie Go, the main guy. And they've repressed it off the test pressing, got the original artwork, it's gorgeous. I'm very proud I've done the sleeve downs for it. The other release is a Rare Tracks release. And I'm very proud of that. That's coming out this month. So a few things I've been sticking my fingers in.
Big year for you this year, really.
Yeah, I've got a few medical things to sort out.
Yeah, you're a big lad.
Yes, always been. I'm getting the old gastric gumbo.
Yeah, you've been in hospital recently. As I say, it's July 2018, but a couple of months ago you spent a few weeks. Is that something you want to talk about?
6 weeks. Oh yeah, absolutely, 6 weeks. As part of an Irish health scheme to deal with obesity, they offer certain people places on this course, which I went on after I lost a lot of weight naturally. I went back on through a few other medical issues and just life. I've no excuses to make here, but the older you get, I'm hitting 50 now, and the older you get, the tougher it is to fight these things. And of course, I'm not just a bit overweight, I'm overweight, big. So they came along and said, we think you're prepared for this. And you know, what it is come into the hospital for 6 weeks, drink milk and bottle only, and you prep for the actual operation, which will happen a lot quicker than 5 years, because that's the waiting list in Ireland. So they put you to the top of the list. So I went in, I lost 3 stone during the 6 weeks. It was weird. That was a weird experience. But I got through it. Very proud I did. It was tough. You know, you're around people with dementia and Alzheimer's and stuff as well, and people who are dying, and it's not as tough as that. But you know, we all have our shit to bear. So got through it, and I go back on Tuesday next week to find out, pretty much hopefully find out when the date will be that they'll do me. So I go and get the gastric band or the bypass.
Will that be happening this year?
Please God, yeah, September, October, hopefully. And the average in the first 6 months is like 8 stone. It's incredible, isn't it?
So this,
It's a new life.
yeah.
I'll probably fall off a horse or something 2 days after I fucking come out of hospital. Something stupid. I like the fact that you know, I'm capable of doing silly things like that. He got the operation done, he looked great, but then he fell off that building when he was doing a tightrope walk. That's the kind of shit I get involved with.
Well, there's the best of luck with that operation, and also
Yes.
any future music that you release.
Yeah, I'm trying to think we haven't covered it. I might be going out with Neil as well next year. Might be doing some Duckworth Lewis gigs. That's another exclusive.
Any more recordings?
Nah,
No.
that's too tough. I mean, if we did a couple of albums of just pop songs and they went great, they were good fun, we could probably do another one because we like to write together. But another album of cricket team songs, it's tough.
This is the Duckworth Lewis Method.
Yeah, you know, so
It's
two
great songs together.
thanks man, 2 top 40 albums in the UK. Huge records, really life-changing for people. I mean, we've so many fans of Duckworth Lewis, and they really want us to go back out there. And Neil's involved with the Father Ted musical as well, which has been announced, and he's got an album ready to go next year, which I've sang on a few tracks. I was singing on a track with Chris Difford actually, from Squeeze on one of the tracks, so I'm very proud of that. That's another nice notch. You know, supported Chris many years ago in Ireland, and Glenn Tilbrook as well. So, but Neil has a big year next week, so I don't know, we haven't spoken yet about any concrete plans, but as I've said, I have strong plans for the 20th anniversary of Pugwash. So we're going to just get on with that, and if we do any Duckworth Lewis, we'll do them.
Yeah.
There could be some big festivals as well. There could be some.
I mean, a lot of people will know that the Pugwash were a band,
Yes,
and now it's yourself.
at the moment it's myself. The thing is, we're all great friends, we love each other to bits, and that's the only thing that matters. And I love them all so much, they're dear friends, they always will be. We've just taken a bit of time off because we weren't earning money, we were breaking even, and it was killing us. And it was very stressful. We did like 3 or 4 tours with America, all set up ourselves and stuff. Joey mainly on the drums, well done Joey. Incredible hard work, you know, 14,000 miles. So we drove 3-month job, you know, the west to east and all. It was brilliant. But mid-40s, all of us with problems. I was on steroids at the time for a condition. It was a bit. Sean was still behaving like an 18-year-old at a fucking acid house party. Tosh was smoking 60 a day and having a breakdown. Joey was quite stressed. It was tough, but we loved it. But then when we made the decision, well, I made the decision, I didn't deal with it the perfect way. But I didn't want to leave. I didn't want the lads to leave. But Tosh was asked to join Divine Comedy, and the minute that happened, he was gone. You know, it was because he's earning money now. He's a professional player, really. He's toured the world and stuff. It's great for him. Joey went back to management, went back to learning at school. He's doing great. He's got a great artist back home. He's got to hear a lot about. And Sean's still up at Liverpool, Southport, playing away. I'll work with Sean again because Sean was there at the start. So if there's it next year with a band, I think Sean will probably be involved, hopefully. But Sean loves the lads as much as I do. It'd be tough to not have the lads there, but you never know. You never know. It's not like, you know, it's not like Jeff and Bev, I suppose, you know. There's a good chance we'll get, you know. But you never know, Jeff and Bev either, you never know.
You never know, anything's
know.
possible. And you've got this operation coming up, and I wish you all the best for that.
Thanks, mate.
So maybe you need to get that.
Well, you look
out.
great, you've been through the mill as well.
Yes.
Well, you look fucking great, and
Yes, yeah.
oh good, let's fight all this.
Yeah.
Did you fart?
Whatever life throws at you, you just have to. Huh?
Did you fart? Did you fart? I seriously thought I smelled a bit of Kinch there. It was probably me.
I've taken up a lot of your time.
Thanks, man. It's a
You're
pleasure.
going to do something with the band, aren't you?
I was going to go on and do Fantastic Day at the end, so I might just walk on. But it's not for another half an hour anyway. But yeah, we're finished. I just want to say it was great that Dave Gregory from XCC recognised it.
Yeah, let's just quickly talk about that. 'Cause
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, I
was
went
cool.
to another gig that you did in Oxford, to Academy.
Yeah.
And in the dressing room was a guy, and if I'm totally honest, I didn't particularly know that much about him.
No, but you're not a fan, you don't know.
But the friend that I was with, Chris, who's an XCC fan, that's Dave Gregory.
Yeah.
XCC, big train.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So we're chatting away in the dressing room, and he looked at me and said, "I recognise you."
I said, I know you. You interviewed Chris Kefford.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Mm.
He loved it. He spoke to me about that interview actually, and the thing was, I actually kind of went. He said something. Did you see the interview with Ace Kefford online? And I kind of went, oh yeah. And it was one of those things where I'm sure he's talking about the Martin thing, but I didn't go back to it. He just said it because we used to speak a lot on the phone. We still do. And then when he said that, he said that in the dressing room. I was like, I could have went, yeah, that's the good. Yeah, that's it. That's bad. And you were like, you're the first person to ever recognise me.
Well, I think it's one of the first times I've ever been recognised anyway.
No, we all know you, man.
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah.
Don't forget your toothbrush was a big one.
Well, yes, that was.
That was where I saw you first.
Was it?
Of course it was. It was a home tape in the shagging thing.
Yeah.
Roy was on.
Christmas Eve, 1994.
Yeah, I was going to say 6, but there you go. Looking forward.
Yeah, you must have been a little wee lad then. Well, not quite a wee, but
Yeah, with that.
yeah.
I was having a drink and me mass. Watch it. I remember it well because it was great. Because every year you'd be prepared. You'd have a separate videotape as Roy.
Yeah,
on.
yeah, I've got that.
Good Morning Britain.
Yeah,
You know, a bit of this, bit of that, and don't forget your toothbrush was like the whole show,
yeah,
kind of thing, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So I remember it well. Yeah, and of course you beat.
Well, we're both big fans of
Yeah.
two of our favourite songwriters, Roy Wood and Jeff Lynne.
Huge.
And
Right.
the few years that they worked together, to me, was just something special.
Well, coming in today, I drove down with Nick today, and Nick was talking about California Man, and Nick was like, you wouldn't believe the impact that song had when I was a kid. He says, 'cause I always remember, he said, I remember a couple of things. I remember hearing 8 Man by the Kinks on the radio driving through Wemsby or something like that. And he says, I just thought, this is the new world. Then he says, I always remember then hearing, go to a party, or Jeff coming in. And I was like, well, you know, Cheap Trick do it every show now, because it's the finale of the show. And I said they found the footage on BBC, Top of the Pops, something to do with it. And Nick goes, as a kid, he said, that just sounds like something superhuman. He said, I heard it recently. He said, I was so amazed by how primitive the recording is. And he says, it was weird. He said, it just didn't sound like it did when I was a kid. And I was thinking to myself, but for us, I think they nailed it because they wanted to go for that rock and roll sound, didn't they? And as, like Roy's songs impacted everybody for that period when he was hot as anything. We all still have high hopes for Roy because he's a genius. But that was the time, you know, that was the real. And then, of course, he was just about to go and have a couple of #1s at Wizard and write the greatest Christmas song of all time.
72 was a special year. The end of the move, the beginning of the. Well, we were actually started, weren't they? But
Well, one of First Year was a hit. Tonight, Chinatown, 71, 72 was California Man. Ballpark Instant was 72, wasn't it?
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So Roy had 3 hits with 3 different bands.
3 different bands.
Yeah.
What he released when Grandma Plays the Banjo but did not. The Dear Lane was huge. Across 73 he had Forever. And he had Wizard. He had Angel Fingers, See Maybe Drive Angel Fingers, which could be Christmas. It's amazing how he survived.
It frustrates me really that you ask people, do you know who Roy Wood is, and it's the Christmas one most people remember.
Well, you know what? That's still pretty cool. Because everybody knows me. And everybody should know him. And if it takes a Christmas song, I don't mind.
And with Jeff, with all the songs he's written, most people will say Mr. Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Most people.
Well, it's amazing because it's so unknown Wishing Me Christmas in America because they don't really do those Christmas things. That was the whole Don Arden thing. I love that picture Easy you had up from the session, from the launch for Eddie and the Falcons.
Yeah.
I Don Hardy dressed up with
Yeah.
his hair slicked back. That must have been some deal. I've seen some other pictures of that with Keith Smart hanging out with Roy, and I'm all pissed. But that was the thing as well, which we all know about Roy, but he was like a comedian, wasn't he? He was like, he did Eddie the Falcons then in '74, which is just the most authentic rock and roll album ever. Sounding, this is the story of my love. Are you ready to rock? You know, it was going down the road. It's ridiculous. Scottish, you know, what's it? A Scottish
Waltz.
Yeah, what's it? A Scottish reggae song. What was he not doing? You know, what was he not doing? That's ridiculous.
So have you got a favourite Roy Wood song that you play, and a favourite Jeff song?
God. Do you know what? I did Any Old Time Will Do about 6 months ago on the guitar. I actually tuned it down a little bit because he does all that. Oh, I spent so much time. He does all that. And there's moments of Mustard. You know, it sounds terrible. I'm not right to say it about Roy Wood. There's moments of Mustard. If you did, like, because Get On Down Home and those kind of tracks, we know why they're very cool. Like Phil Everly's involved and all that stuff, of course. But Mustard should have been just pure pop, shouldn't it? Should have been just all the way. He should have probably had Going Down the Road or something. Or he should have, you know, maybe he should have had Rock and Roll Winter or something. It just would have been. But then again, I love bands like that. XTC always had a crowbar of a song in. But Mustard, you know, Look Through the Eyes with Phil. What is such a pretty girl singing those sad songs. They're just incredible. And to me, Interlude, probably one of the most played songs I've ever played. It's so beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You know, it's something that you kind of go, Roy, what do you, Roy, 20 of them? Because we listened to them all day, because he's absolute genius. But I'm a huge Superactive Wizard fan. But it's his last great record.
Yeah.
You know, On the Road Again, it's tough. I love the song. I love On the Road Again, the song. And a couple of bits, you know, starting up is a little tough for me, but the EMI singles are amazing.
Yeah.
Down to Zero, it's not easy.
Started at
Green glass windows.
The computers were coming in more than, weren't they?
Yeah, he was getting that big sound. But those singles were still brilliant. I love 1, 2, 3. It's a great version. I really like it. His vocals are brilliant on it. Sing Out the All Bringing the Day was his best Christmas song. That's not the Christmas song.
Yeah.
And that's saying it ahead of Rock and Roll Winter, which is so beautiful. But I love the original Sing Out the Old on the Cheapskate. That's the only one. The 12-inch one is not. The Cheapskate 7-inch is brilliant song. It's such a great song.
Favourite Jeff Lynne tune?
Jeff, there's no ending with Jeff. 21st Century Man, I just absolutely. It's because, and then I always remember Waterfall as a kid, because it has that, like, I still look goosebumps, because it's like love is all waterfall, love is what you are, pulls you in, takes you, like, listen to that as a kid, you know, it still blows you away as an adult, still gives you the same feeling. Look,
we'll have to do a special video.
here's a goosebump video.
Even the Goosebumps are
Because it's so beautiful, you know, and he was making music with with the strings and slides. It sounded like it was otherworldly. And the amazing thing is, he's so normal. You know, he almost puts himself down. Because I love that interview that he did with your man for Time. Jim Lee or something, not Jim Lee, but Jim Ladd, is it? Is that Jim Ladd interview in America? Where he actually did the interview where your man wanted to speak with the concept of time.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Because Jeff's like, yeah, that's a song. And he's going, but yeah, the space and the spaceship. And then Jeff's going, yeah, but yeah, okay. You know, because your man's talking bollocks. It's just a great pop record with a slight lineage of connecting things. But Time was a big record. You know, some beautiful Rain is Falling.
Yeah, I love some of the later stuff as well. I loved all the different stages.
Well, I've got to say it, he hasn't beaten Zoom. I think it goes, you know, I love Balance Power so much. I love Balance Power, I lived through all the records, I loved them so much, but Balance of Power was up there with Uncharted, and Uncharted is such a great record. It's a really big record for me. But Zoom, his songs on Zoom are phenomenal. They really are. Some of his best songs he's written in a hell of a long time.
I think that could have been as successful as the last one had it been released a few years ago.
If he did Zoom now,
Yeah, that's right.
huge.
Yeah,
You know, Alone the Universe was Jeff getting the songs out.
yeah.
I'm quite excited about what's coming.
Yeah.
You know, quite excited. Hopefully something's coming, but I've been privy to hearing. I heard the Alone the Universe stuff before. Jeff played me Blue, and When I Was a Boy before they came out.
Alright.
And when I was a boy, I was crying. Me and Katja were in tears. And Jeff was over the other side of the studio, and he went, "I know it always gets me too." And it was a very special moment. I'll never forget it. Very privileged to be there. But he played Blue, and I was like, because Blue to me, that the extra track, is a brilliant song. That's the kind of Jeff I love. Like Love Changes All that stuff. They're very special songs. Helpless and all. They were really big songs on the flashback box. They're great songs. And I'm like, I love that style of writing. He still does. Forecast and that. But he didn't put it on the album in the end. And I was like, well, that should have been on the album. Maybe should have been on that album. So he's just getting them all out though, you know, that's cool. But he's a genius, what can we say?
Well, listen, I'm gonna let
Probably
you-
big wheels though, man. Probably big wheels. Probably big wheels.
Well,
That's the song that I'll always go back to. It's the one in hospital I kept going to because it blows me away.
we'll find out.
Yes.
We'll find out.
Pleasure, mate.
Good luck with this operation that's coming up,
Don't mind all that. That's life. That'll happen.
and also with any future products that you do.
Future bollocks.
Future products.
Future products. He totally said future bollocks. Have a listen to that in the headphones.
And you're saying about all your heroes are nice people. You're not. You're a bit, you know, you look at you, you're a bit frightening, really.
Am I?
I think so.
Well,
I wouldn't want to walk towards you on a dark night.
I'm a big softie. I'm a big bear.
Yeah, you are.
I shouldn't say that because you have a lot of bear followers.
But your songs deserve to be heard by more
Don't
people.
Google it.
Your songs deserve to be heard by more people.
Oh, thanks, man.
Perhaps one day we can do a little video and you can do some songs that you don't
What do you want me to do a song?
Only if you've got time.
I'll do a song. Pause it there and I'll do you a song.
Have you got time?
Of course, yeah.
We're going to do an exclusive here.
Jesus. What do you want me to do? Don't fill in me arse getting up.
He's got to get his guitar. Now, I wasn't expecting this. I don't know what he's going to sing. So a bit of an exclusive here.
Maybe I think it's on Jeff.
Where is he? Where's he going to stand?
What reminds me of?
Just talk amongst yourself, just for...
Wow. I'll sit with it up, so. I love it. I'll play it up, so it's a bit of. This is one. That's the one, yeah. Maybe you want to be in it as well.
No.
This is a song called Answers On A Postcard, which Jeff said some lovely things about when he sent me the letter originally. And he says, I thought you could have put, he actually got quite technical. So I thought you could have put that bit back in because it was really good now, which, I'm sorry, but yes, I should have done it, Jeff. But anyway, it goes a bit like this. It's funny because we're right at the stage here.
Yeah.
And I started singing, everybody joined in. So I might actually start. Who's this? Ed.
Hello.
So, actually, do I have it? No, I don't have it. Anyway, it goes like this. Oh, the isolation, it's a sticky situation in my mind. played it in ages, Martin. The kazoo lead break. Where can I go from here? Where can I go? Where can I go? Where can I go from here? Where can I go? Where can I go? Answers on a postcard. So I should have been. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Sister Jane has a little book full of autographs of useless people. Seems to wait and the time she took, but it makes me mad, which makes us seem wrong. Ooh, hundreds of people and thousands of gold, wearing the shoes of the silver and gold. Useless information turns out useless information. Seems to fill my head with nowhere else to go.
Amazing.
This is pain that the jarring in, rolling on about her operation. Will the dawn ever make the rain? Oh wait. Catch your boots and your astronaut. It's been the same for years, so I remember. Ooh, hundreds of people and thousands of gold, wearing the shoes of the silver and gold. Useless information turns out useless information. Seems to fill my head with nowhere else to go. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing that you can see why conversation is dying? Time is passing you by. Turn your ears to the weatherman, saying it cold in December. Catch the point, the fourth one. That's the count. It's been the same for years, so I remember. Ooh, hundreds of people and thousands of gold, wearing the shoes of the silver and gold. Useless information turns out useless information. Seems to fill my head with nowhere else to go. Isn't it amazing? Useless information turns out useless information. Seems to fill my head with nowhere else to go. Hundreds of people filling my head with useless information. Hundreds of people filling my head with useless information. Hundreds of people filling my head with useless information. Hundreds of people filling my head with useless information. Blast us, everybody.
It's Pugwash,
I got it right first time. I changed the lyrics in my own head.
and that was a bit of an exclusive for us, wasn't it?
That was especially. So, that was for Chris.
Yes.
That was for Chris.
Yeah.
Love you, Chris.
We'll try and get a meet up sometime.
Oh God. Special. And of course the sons,
Yes.
Daryl
Yeah.
and
Gary.
Gary. Yes, darling Gary. I speak more to Daryl, but yes, darling Gary.
It's
Yeah,
time,
man.
everybody. Pugwash.
Look, ahead is our shot. See
I think
you.
you better have a break now.
Ah, we'll have a break. We'll have a drink. Cup of tea.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, man. Pleasure. Okay, no, this is the upstairs.